friends, Chubby Meeple back here to recap day 5, the final recap video in my kind of Origins recap or series of Origin recap videos here. So this is going to be probably the shortest of the videos because Sunday was a pretty laid back day. So we're just going to dive right in, tell you what I did. So first thing out of the gate, stopped by the Dice Tower booth. I hung out a little bit with some of the guys, but at 11 o'clock that morning, I met up with the designers behind Warehouse 13, the board game. This is a game that's coming soon to Kickstarter. Super pumped for this. This is a co-op game where each player takes on the role of one of the characters from the TV show, the old sci-fi series Warehouse 13, and you are trying to keep the artifacts out of the hands of the adversary, or McPherson is his name. You're trying to keep the hands out of McPherson, or the artifacts out of McPherson's hands, because if he gets them, he triggers an end game, kind of a finale. But essentially the game is played, it's a series of episodes that you have, and you go through each episode, and then there's a season finale. Or essentially what it is, you play the game from start to finish. That's considered a season. And then there's rounds, and each round is considered an episode. And each character that plays, you have a passive ability that is kind of an ongoing ability that happens all the time. You have a once per episode or a once per round power that you can activate. You have a once per season or a once per game power that you can activate. And then each character has what they call a drawback, which is basically something bad about their character. The character that I had, if he ever got knocked out, he got wounded instead, which is worse than being knocked out. So it was a lot of fun. And it's co-op, so you're going through, you're rolling dice, you're trying to investigate these clues, you're using cards to claim dice or to take actions. You then use the dice to roll later to claim the artifact for that particular round, and if you fail and get in the artifact, it actually falls to McPherson. And you go until the team has either secured 3 artifacts or McPherson has secured 3 artifacts. If the team secures 3, the team wins. Yay, game's over. If McPherson gets 3 artifacts, he triggers what's called the finale, where then he is now trying to complete 2 plots before the agents complete 2. So you can still, even if he gets 3 artifacts, you still have a chance as the agents to cooperatively win. What I wasn't expecting with this game is a hidden traitor mechanic. This was exciting to me and very thematic, because in the show there were times where agents in the warehouse would get what they called whammied by an artifact, and it would cause them to betray the team or double cross the team. And in this game, there's a hidden traitor mechanic. One of the people working could be a traitor. It's very much kind of like Dead of Winter. There may not be a traitor at all. But there are different opportunities where that traitor can reveal themselves, and at that point, the game is no longer playing McPherson and drawing action cards from a deck. Now the person who's revealed themselves to be the traitor is now playing those cards and is actively, now the game has become, instead of cooperative versus the game, now it's suddenly a 1 versus many. It was a very unique game. We had a lot of fun with it. As you're trying to get the artifacts, you also have to maintain the warehouse. Things are happening in the warehouse, so you don't want the warehouse to get out of hand, because as they said in the show, warehouse goes boom. So you have to be careful with that. So it was a lot of fun to play Warehouse 13. I actually took Sam Healy from the Dice Tower booth. He came over with me and actually sat down and played it as well, and got to experience it there. The designer, one of the designers of the game, was there, and they had played it with. You may have seen the articles around. Geek and Sundry did a write-up. They played Warehouse 13, the board game, not only with the designers but also with Eddie McClintock, who played Pete on the show. Got to play, and so the designer told us some stories about that experience of getting to play with Eddie, and how Eddie is Pete and Pete is Eddie, and how he's just a really nice guy. So it was a lot of fun to play Warehouse 13. That was really the only game I played on Sunday, was Warehouse 13. The rest of the day was spent hitting up the exhibit hall. Exhibit hall closed at 4 o'clock on Sunday. I had several publishers who had said swing back through here in the last hour and a half to last hour of the exhibit hall being open. We can talk about review copies based on what they had, because a lot of these reviewers don't want to ship all that stuff back to their distribution houses and whatnot, so they try to get rid of as much as possible. So my first stop, I swung by the booth for Gruff, which is a card game. This is a card game based on the Three Billy Goats Gruff. You can really see that, but there's Gruff, as well as the second game in the series, Clash of the Battle Goats. And this is basically battling mutated, weaponized goats. The story behind the game is that it's kind of a follow-up to the Three Billy Goats Gruff. The shepherds realized when the goats defeated the troll at the end of the story that, hey, why are we keeping goats around, you know, for livestock purposes? We should weaponize these things and fight. So it's a card game. Weaponized battle goats fighting each other, trying to take down, you know, the other shepherd, the rival shepherd. I got copies of both games from the designer Brent Critchfield. If you jump over to my blog, chubbymeeple.wordpress.com, I posted an interview that I did with Brent. He's got a third version, or a third edition, not a third edition, but a third installment, if you will, of the Gruff series called Rage of the Trolls, where the trolls are now back for revenge. So it adds some solo play, some co-op play, it adds some boss fights against the trolls themselves. So check that out on Kickstarter. I'll be putting a link to the Kickstarter page. You'll want to click that quickly. The Kickstarter actually wraps up on Tuesday, coming up here on the 27th, I believe it is, that'll be wrapping up. So you'll want to get that out pretty quickly. But that was Gruff. I got to chat with Brent, learn a little bit about how the game is played. It's a very fun little game if you like quirky kind of humor. The artwork is fantastic as well. Keep your eyes out here. I'll be doing a little bit of a review of the couple of games that Brent sent me here. It'll be after the Kickstarter's over though, so but definitely keep your eyes out for that. And take a look, and if you want to jump over and check out Rage of the Trolls, certainly do so. I swung by the booth at Daily Magic Games. Daily Magic published the Valeria series, so Valeria Card Kingdoms, Villages of Valeria, Quests of Valeria, all published by Daily Magic Games. Swung by their booth to pick up some review copies, and I picked up, this is Kitten Clash, designed by Alice Davis and Matt Jacobs. Very quick little game. There's about 52 cards in here. It's literally, you know, you have 26 cards, your opponent has 26 cards, you're playing them face out on the table. Anytime colors match, you grab them really quick. The box says it plays in 1 minute, and that's right. This game plays in 1 minute, it's over. I'll be doing a review here on the channel of this, so keep your eyes out for that. It'll probably be the first review that comes up out of all the stuff that came out of Origins, because I think this will be the quickest review that I can turn around and get out. And I've promised this to my daughter. My 11-year-old actually had a blast with this game, and so I told her that once I get the review done, I'll let her have this game. She can play it here with her sister, you know, play with me. You know, she'll probably take it to her mom's and play with her mom. Who knows? So that's Kitten Clash. The other game that I picked up for a review that I'll be doing a review of here once I get a chance to play through it is a game by Jay Treat, and that is Merchants of Araby. This is a game for plays up to 5, so 2 to 5 players in about 45 minutes to an hour is my understanding. I haven't had a chance to crack this open and play it yet, but one of the unique things about this, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Daily Magic actually patented this design now, is that when you open the box and you pop everything out of the box here, the part of the box itself actually folds out to create your game board. So this is the Merchants of Araby sleeve itself, and it literally has a magnetic clasp that just comes apart and creates the game board that you're going to be playing on. So a very unique idea there. I'm looking forward to getting this to the table because I'm interested to see how it plays. You know, I like these older kind of these you know, set back in you know, the dealing with the old time merchant you know, kind of trading. So looking forward to checking this out and see how that plays. So those are the copies that I picked up from Daily Magic for the purposes of doing reviews. So some review copies from the folks at Daily Magic. So keep your eyes on the channel for reviews of both Kitten Clash and Merchants of Araby. The last booth that I hit up, I mean, obviously I was going around and chatting. I stopped again by IDW and chatted with Ross. Been in communication with him since Gen Con, or since Origins as well, discussing, you know, kind of where to go in the future and what we're going to be doing together. So there's some exciting things coming there. I then, right toward the end of the day, I hit up the booth for Eagle Griffin Games. I'd been in contact with Daniel Zayas, and he had said, swing by, you know, the booth, grab some review copies of things that we've got, you know, whatever we didn't sell that we can do. At his I just basically asked him, he wanted to know what I was interested in reviewing, and I basically said, well, what games would you like pushed? What's not selling as much as you think it should? What do you think's not getting as much buzz as you'd like it to have? And he gave me 2 games to review. The first is a game called King's Kilt. This is a game, this was designed, Gordon Hamilton. I did the design on this. 2 to 4 players, plays in about 20 minutes to a half an hour. Haven't had a chance to play it yet, but you're basically wielding influence to win power and eventually win over the Scottish crown and win that struggle for the Scottish crown. So fun little card game there. Looking forward to giving that a try and putting together a review here for the channel for King's Kilt. The other game that Daniel said that he felt needed a big push, or he was hoping to get some more hype behind, because it's a game that he enjoys, a game he thinks a lot of gamers would enjoy as well, and that is Glenn Drover's Empires Galactic Rebellion. Daniel described this to me as kind of Star Wars in a box. Obviously, I've not played this yet, so I don't know how true that is, but it's literally a rebellion versus Imperial fighters. On here. Looks like a pretty, it's got some pretty neat little miniatures in it there. Not only did he give me a copy of Galactic Rebellion to do a review of, but he also sent the Oligarchs expansion with it and suggested playing it with that. So keep your eyes out here on the channel. I'll be doing reviews of both of those Eagle Griffin games, King's Kilt and Empires Galactic Rebellion will be coming to the channel soon. So we'll see how long it takes me to get that big old box out there to the table. So that was essentially my Sunday, hanging out with Dice Tower, played Warehouse 13, picked up my review copies as scheduled with different publishers there. So keep your eyes out for those reviews. And it wraps up my recap videos for the days that are there. But before I go with this video, I've got 2 more shout outs to give to folks that donated to the GoFundMe page that helped me get to Origins in the first place. And these 2 shout outs are actually people that I've known probably the longest of all the shout-outs. I know one day I mentioned my buddy Greg, who I've known for 15 years. These 2 people I've known well longer than that, one of which I've known literally my entire life. But first shout-out goes to Cory Powell. Cory is a guy that I went to high school, well, not just high school, went to school with. We grew up together as kids. Cory does a lot with music, a lot of mixing and percussion, and just has a whole plethora of things. Check out his stuff. I'll put a link to his Twitter down there. He's got a lot of stuff going on there, but he was generous enough to reach out. Appreciate it, Cory. He does a lot of liking and retweeting and reposting things that I post on Twitter and Facebook as well. So he's doing, in addition to helping out with the campaign that I have on GoFundMe, he's helping share my content and get it out, kind of extend the reach. So I appreciate that as well. And the second person I want to give a shout out to, this is the person that I've known literally my entire life. And I can say that because she was born a month before me. This is my cousin June, June Hazelwood. Well, Hazelwood Phipps now. I always forget the hyphenated name. She's married now. So, but my cousin June donated and helped me get to Origins, helped out. So I wanted to give a shout out there. She's fantastic. She's probably, I've been close to her for quite a long time. We literally grew up together, not so much as cousins, but more as best friends. She's awesome. It's so cool to see the stuff. She lives out west now. I don't get to see her hardly as much, nearly as much as I'd like to, because she's out in Oregon now with her family. But it was cool to, still cool with technology to be able to keep in touch with her and for her to reach out and help out with the campaign. So I certainly appreciate that and just, love her more for it. So that wraps up the Origins videos. If you have any questions about any games I, showed, anything you want to know, if I can answer them, I certainly will. Any questions about anything, if there was something that you thought I should check out that I didn't check out and want to know why I didn't check it out, drop it in the comments below. I'm happy to get some conversation going. Definitely click that subscribe button to see all the reviews that are coming from the games I picked up at Origins. Got some exciting things coming from reviews from Eagle Griffin, from Renegade, from Blue Orange, from IDW coming in the future. from the folks at Daily Magic. So definitely subscribe so you don't miss any of those. Follow on Twitter, follow on Instagram, like the Chubby Meeple Facebook page. There's so much going on there. Look forward to seeing you guys in the future and chatting with you with some more recaps and some more reviews and things like that. But until next time, I'm the Chubby Meeple, and as always, keep gaming, friends.